and welcome to Buzz TV. I'm your host, Adrienne Houghton, and we have got an exciting show for you today. There's everything from restaurants and charities and galleries and something for everyone, really family favorites. So watch this space and find out more on Buzz TV.
Hello, I'm John Rutherford from the United States House of Representatives, and I am a watchstander.
Hi, I'm Michelle McManaman from Operation Uniform, and I am a watchstander, and so is everyone in my organization.
I'm Damika Jackson. I'm the president of the Jacksonville Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and I am a watchstander.
Hi, I'm Luke Lewis with Xera Realty.
I am Ant Stroud with the Ant Stroud Group.
I'm Bruce Thompson. I'm the Vice President of the Veterans Chamber of Commerce.
And I am a watchstander.
I am a watchstander.
I'm a watchstander.
Each year, over 6,000 U.S. military veterans take their own lives, including one per week in Northeast Florida. The Fire Watch is our community's fight to end veteran suicide. Join us. Become a watchstander today at thefirewatch.org. Together, we will end veteran suicide.
Hello and welcome to Your Legal Buzz. I am Tiffany Howard, your host, with my co-host Stephen Strum, and today we are excited to sit down with Khalil Farah from Farah & Farah. Hi.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. So tell me a little bit about who you are and what sets you apart in the personal injury realm, which is such a gigantic it's almost like real estate. I don't know. There might be as many personal injury attorneys as there are real estate agents these days.
And you see them everywhere. That's
everywhere.
Every
But are there more law cases than there are attorneys? Don't know. There's more real estate agents than there are listings.
Hopefully we can all stay in business if there are too many lawyers. But well, at Farah & Farah, we are, we're a local company, which for Jacksonville is big. There are a lot of firms in Jacksonville. There are not as many that are based in Jacksonville, which is important for us. I grew up in Jacksonville, born and raised, went to school here, and now I work here as an attorney, and I've been working now for about 6 years.
Well, congratulations on that.
So you were talking a little bit about culture,
Sure.
local business. Now, the name of the company also happens to be the name of you.
Right.
So you are a large organization in town, but culturally, you're just as much a family business. Tell us a little bit about what the culture is over at Farah & Farah as you guys are serving our local community.
Sure. So we're local in the sense that not just, I didn't just grow up here. My dad grew up here. My uncle grew up here. We all work together, which is, it's kind of nice to be able to go into work and you see my sister works there as an attorney. My dad's there, my uncle. Growing up, conversation about the business was part of family discussions, and that helps, especially with employees and people that have worked with us for years. I mean, we've got employees that have worked at the firm for 30 years.
Wow.
And they'll be mentioned to me. I remember the Christmas party when you were 10 years old, and X, Y, and Z happened. And what that means then is when you have that kind of network, you're ingrained in the local community. Because you've got, people that went to church with people that I work with, people that grew up with people I work with, people that are parts of local organizations, and so it's almost daily I hear, "Oh, do you know Joe who has worked there for 15 years?" And it's you feel like you're part of the city. You feel like you're integrated into it.
So when you're talking about that family thing,
Sure.
people say, I remember when you were this tall, right?
Yeah.
And I can almost envision, there's a young lady who runs my office who still thinks I'm 5.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's so important is that culture of retention, right? Just because from both employees, but then as clients come back to you maybe for a second time, they're like, oh, Joe's still here.
Right.
So, as we are kind of evolving into what is this new normal of our economic condition, you got the family atmosphere, which definitely breeds some level of culture of camaraderie. What does that do? Like, what's going on with the firm now? We're coming back, right? We've got this great culture that kind of went a little weird, virtual for a little bit. Now we're coming back in person. What's going on over at Fair and Farrah? How are you guys adapting in that culture to serve your clients in this new era?
So we did our best to still keep a level of personal interaction during the last year, which was tough. Fortunately, we have an office with big conference rooms. And so anytime a client asked to come in, we wore masks and we kept distance, but we still brought everybody in to make sure you can meet face-to-face with your attorney. That's big for a lot of people that are unfamiliar with the legal system.
Sure.
To be able to come into an office, and even if it is, from the other side of the room, sit down with your lawyer and talk about what's going on with their case. That reassures people in a way that you can't do virtually, we think, which is why it's important for us to have physical offices in every city that we service. We've got offices in Orlando, and Tampa, and Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Gainesville. All these cities that we have clients in, we make it a point to have an office in that city that is manned. Your attorney is local. You can go in and you can meet with them.
So when you're talking about, what is also a very uncomfortable experience in PI, in the personal injury universe, somebody gets in a car accident in the middle of this pandemic, they're probably freaked out just because they don't have that ability to go see somebody, giving that personal touch in a safe way, which is now kind of normalizing-ish, that they feel probably like, gosh, what, these guys are going to be here to stay.
And it's important to us because we're all familiar with the Jacksonville market. We all see the commercials. There are firms that pop up and then leave. There are firms that they may advertise here, but their office is located in some other city. And so again, we make it a point. We're established here. We're hiring staff that are from the local community. We plan on being here, and obviously now there's a new generation that's coming on with me. One of my sisters that I mentioned is already practicing law. My other sister's in law school now. So we plan on really lasting for the long term.
So the level of perpetuity, and now we have young lawyers.
Yeah.
Yes, so you said you have been practicing for 6 years. So for people that are watching, talk a little bit about what it's like to be a young attorney and how that's been for you, and maybe some of the challenges that you faced and how you've been able to overcome those challenges.
So for me, they always say you don't teach you to practice law in law school, which is true. You learn the rules and you learn how to analyze cases, but you don't really learn what the day-to-day practice is like. And so for me, one of the best ways I found to learn how to practice is to just ask old lawyers about stories, and they'll start talking. And if you tell them like, hey, why did you do that? Or, they'll explain the rules of civil procedure to you, and they'll make it, they're having a blast. But for me, in the civil litigation, so much of it is procedure and so much of it is rule driven. And I really struggled with that. I was not good with, Florida rules of civil procedure. You got to sit down, you got to get through them, and they're boring to read. But an easy way to learn them is just to talk to older lawyers, and they'll teach them to you. And so, kind of advice to young lawyers, I always say, is go to the old guys and just let them tell war stories. Yeah. Because it'll make you a better lawyer, and they're always happy to do it.
Nothing better than some OJT on the job training.
I was going to go with old jurish doctorate, but that would be OJD. So what advice do you have for an attorney coming in, right? Sure. So there was a little bit of a hiccup, right, with the whole coronavirus thing, Pat, doing the bar, right? There was a whole problem. And so people were like, I have a job lined up and I don't have a job, and what am I going to do? What would your advice be to a young lawyer coming into the biz, if you will, besides apply for Fair and Farrah? What would your advice be to that group coming up?
Again, don't ever be afraid to ask for help. At our firm, especially, that's huge. 30-year litigators and first-year associates talk daily. We have an open-door policy. My dad and uncle to this day have an open-door policy. If a case manager or a young associate has a question on a case, they're welcome to walk into any senior attorney's office and ask for help. That's important, and that
huge
helps because no matter who the lawyer is that has your case, you're drawing on the wealth of experience from all of the lawyers. And like I said, we have older lawyers that have been practicing for decades. We have lawyers that are relatively young, but the experience level between all of them, is through the roof. And so, don't be afraid to ask for help. Would be my biggest advice. Some people get worried about it. They think, oh, I'm going to look like I don't know what I'm doing. Don't feel that way. You're better off telling one lawyer that you need help and learning it versus going in and doing something wrong.
Well, and that kind of plays into that whole culture piece. Sure. So, I would imagine you could probably go into how many hours of experience or how many years of experience does somebody have when you have a firm of that magnitude with an open door policy. So, I don't know, 1,000 years of experience when you add it all up together. But yet the senior lawyer is living with abundance and saying, hey, how can I help this younger, less experienced associate attorney really manifest what's their best ability to be them? Whether he or she is going, oh gosh, what do I do now? Oh, well, back in 1982, this is what happened. So it's very interesting that you're out there. So what do you see kind of on the horizon as a firm as we start to kind of get into this 2021 and beyond?
Well, obviously, we're excited for trials to resume. That's been the real challenge over the last year. Is at a certain point in litigation, you cannot resolve it without getting a finder of fact, a jury to decide some of the issues in the case. We're also pretty excited for a lot of our community involvement programs that we've sort of had to not pause, but had to change them. We're excited to go back to in person with them. One of the things that we really enjoyed was the Empowering Greatness Scholarship we did last year. We're bringing that back, where we give scholarships to people that are from high crime neighborhoods in Jacksonville to allow them to pursue higher education. And we associated with that, we do a lot of in-person events to kind of promote the programs that groups we work with do in those neighborhoods. So we're excited for those kind of events to return and not have everything done over Zoom.
Yeah. Everybody's ready for that.
Zoom fatigue's a real deal.
It is real.
It's real.
It is real. Especially, I feel so bad for the attorneys because that's where you guys are all day long. Everyone I talk to is like, I'm in Zoom court.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you so much for being here with us today, and thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Tiffany Howard, your Legal Buzz. Remember to make today count.
Hello, I'm John Rutherford from the United States House of Representatives, and I am a watchstander.
Hi, I'm Michelle McManaman from Operation Uniform, and I am a watchstander, and so is everyone in my organization.
I'm Damika Jackson. I'm the president of the Jacksonville Veterans Chamber of Commerce, and I am a watchstander.
Hi, I'm Luke Lewis with Exera Realty.
I am Ant Stroud with the Ant Stroud Group.
I'm Bruce Thompson. I'm the vice president of the Veterans Chamber of Commerce.
And I am a watchstander.
I am a watchstander.
I'm a watchstander.
Each year, over 6,000 U.S. military veterans take their own lives, including one per week in Northeast Florida. The Fire Watch is our community's fight to end veteran suicide. Join us. Become a watchstander today at thefirewatch.org. Together, we will end veteran suicide.
Hey everybody, welcome to Buzzworthy Business. I'm your host, Jesse Stakes, and today I have Mike Osborne of Alden White Construction. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
So everybody in Jacksonville has seen the Alden White signs. They know who Alden White is. You guys are one of the largest general contractors in Jacksonville. Tell us a little bit about what makes you different than the next general contractor.
Well, Alden White is local, for one, and the founders of the company, Ed White and Steve Aud, decided they were going to build a company where people can go home to their families at night instead of traveling so much. And for about almost 35 years, we've been sticking to it.
That's wonderful. So I know you and I were talking off camera, and one of the big things that you do is work with the Northeast Florida Builders Association, NEFBA.
Right.
Tell me what you do with NEFPA, Mike.
So NEFA, for about 3 years, I was a carpentry instructor, training our young carpenters. And then recently I have gotten into the Outreach OSHA training program. We we really involve ourselves with the community, with the young recruits that we have to be able to give them training and also placement in local other GC contractors around the area.
So this is a tremendous opportunity for someone who's interested in getting into trades, period, correct?
Oh, it is tremendous. I mean, Alden White participates and they pay 100% of your tuition, right? And you get paid while you're working. And the great thing about it is a full 4 years of straight construction training in either carpentry, which would be Alden White, but we also do HVAC, we also do plumbing, we also do electricity, and now sheet metal.
So when we're talking about alternate education or someone who's in high school and they're sitting there and they're like, I don't really want to go to college, but I don't know what I want to do, this is a tremendous, a different path or an alternative path that they can take, correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a necessity. We are considered essential workers.
Absolutely.
We did not stop through, the pandemic. We kept on going. We keep the lights on. And we build all around you. All the structures that you see all around the neighborhood, we have our hands in that, and we take great pride in providing that for our community.
So if a student is listening to us, or if one of their parents is listening and they want to learn more about these opportunities, where can they go? How can they find this?
They can go to our website at NEFPA and they can look up more information, and they can get in contact with anybody from the organization. They'll be happy to help.
Excellent. And for those of you out there listening, we're going to have all of that information listed for you guys underneath this interview, and it'll be a clickable link so that you can take a look at it and learn more. Mike, so are there career fairs? Are there places where people can go actually have conversations with you guys? Do you guys have any kind of virtual interviews, being that we're kind of coming somewhat out of this COVID era, but we're still kind of in it?
Oh yeah, again, all that information's on the website. They can contact and they will guide anyone to any. Sometimes we have events throughout the year. I don't know what the schedule is right now, but that will be posted on the website. Big recruitment is around the end of the school year. We like to get involved with a lot of local high schools to see if we get recruits from there. But also, hey, people out of high school for a couple years can come in too and register and get online. And if you don't have a company that you are already working in, we can also help place you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you so much for joining us today.
Great, thank you.
If you guys would like to learn more about Alden White Construction, Northeast Florida Builders Association, or us here over at Buzz TV, you can join us at iwannabuzz.com. I'm your host, Jesse Stakes, for Buzzworthy Business, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Sorry to interrupt your show. I'm Steve Strum from Buzz TV. Today we have Troy Farquhar from Integrity Law.
Thanks, Steve.
Tell us about your firm.
Yeah, so Integrity Law is a full-service law firm. We do mostly family law, but we also practice in estate planning, personal injury, probate, real estate matters. So look us up, www.integritylawjacks.com.
Thanks for joining us. And you guys can have your show back.
Greetings and welcome to the Jacksonville Buzz. I am your host, Adrienne Houghton, and today I am honored to have two people who are representing the Cultural Council of Jacksonville. First is Diana Donovan, and we are delighted to find out that she is now the Executive Director, no longer interim, and she has brought along Dustin Harewood, who we all know as a local artist. Welcome. Yes, we do. Everyone knows Dustin and your marvelous murals and...
Thank you.
Why are they here, you ask? Well, Diana has a very interesting event that has been taking place. It's an auction of 20 Jaguar footballs.
Yes, ma'am.
Take it away, Diana. Tell us more about it.
Yes, I'm so glad you asked. So we have the NFL draft coming up this Thursday with the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is our home city, and we love our NFL partners. And Adriel Roca is a board member for us, and he serves as their community impact charge of the coordination of anything and everything Jaguars Foundation. And he and I were talking about partnerships between the Cultural Council, and we thought of what better opportunity than to elevate our Northeast Regional regional talent on a national platform in a space to provide creative economic opportunities, but also athletics and the arts. It's a natural connection. Yeah. So this is a launching of our Arts Plus campaign, which is exciting because it's meant to create opportunities and funding for innovation and contingency. And after the pandemic, we have seen the arts and cultural organizations and community and industry as a whole come together. They've been resilient, dynamic, they've been entrepreneurial and creative. And so for us to be able to fundraise in this capacity, to elevate and share the platform with people who are changing Jacksonville for the better, and then to also be able to raise funds to change our community and elevate innovation, it's a really unique and wonderful opportunity.
So tell us about the kickoff of the football project.
The kickoff. So I will share with you excellent news, breaking news. We have already sold some of our footballs on the auction. And so you can start a bid at $500, or you can buy, if you love it and you see that piece of art and it speaks to your heart, you can buy it in that moment for $1,000.
So we kind of need to rewind because the footballs have been decorated or painted. I can't say decorated really because that sounds like a cake.
No, you can't.
It's not a cake.
You know better.
No, they've been painted by artists.
Yes, 5 fabulous artists.
Okay, first of all, how did you choose those artists? Before we get to talk to this one, how did you choose the artists?
We did a call to artists, and so when we had this opportunity, we wanted to put it out and see, what talent in Jacksonville was interested, and we were able to, push it out through our social media channels for more art culture, and then the response was wonderful. It was tremendous. We have so much talent in this community, and one of the best parts about call to artists is that you get to see the personality of the community that you're serving and representing. So we had a lot of great options, and then we partnered with the NFL to select artists that they felt really resonated with their brand and with their mission and their core values. And we ended up coming up with 5 dynamic individuals, and of course Dustin.
One is Dustin,
one of our stars.
So when you got the call to say that you had been chosen, how did you feel about that?
That was very exciting. First of all, I want to start this. I've been a fan of yours for a while. I'm very nervous to get interviewed by her right now. She's by a celebrity here. I saw you at a party the other night and you didn't speak to me and I was very upset.
Ooh.
Now let's go on ahead and take it from there.
But now we're best friends. Now I'm in trouble. Now I'm really not sure how to carry on. I have to say, I saw you there too, but you were always surrounded by people, and so I thought, I'm not barging my way through.
You see that? That was really good. You were so good. No, that was very exciting. I mean, as artists, we're always working as these independent agents, going from one thing to the next. So to have the Cultural Council come and set this fantastic opportunity in our laps. I mean, what a privilege.
How did you come across your designs?
Well, I've got 2 designs that I've done for the 4 footballs. The first 2 were from this series, this environmental art series I've been working on for a while, called 36 Views of a Dying Coral Reef. And so I wanted to do that. And then the other ones where I deconstructed the Jacksonville Jaguar logo, which I've loved forever. So I kind of had fun chopping it all up and then presenting it back in an abstract way.
How magnificent. I mean, that's...
Thank you.
I mean, we are lucky to have such talent in Jacksonville because it's not every city that you could work with that has as much talent as we have. So it's not just that the footballs have been painted by artists. There's also some signatures going on those footballs, is that right?
Yes, and so this is a unique opportunity because oftentimes you'll see on an NFL auction footballs that are signed, and they're signed by some of your fan favorites. And I know that everyone's keeping up very closely with who will be drafted on Thursday. But you'll be able to see when you walk through the website different signatures of various players. And we have the 5 artists featured. So we have Alma Ramirez, we of course have Dustin, we have Ted Head, we have Heather Blanton, and then we have Tabitha Sky. And I encourage you to reach out and just check out these dynamic artists on their social media platforms because then you learn their personality. But when you go to check out the football, you'll see it's reflected in all these different ways, from a Jaguar face to a player to a pixelated interpretation of the football, all signed by professional NFL players and all with a heart for the arts.
Do you think there may possibly be an Urban Meyer signature there somewhere?
We love Urban, and we hope that he loves us too. But you'll just have to check the website and figure that out.
Absolutely.
She's so good.
Justin, a quick question to you.
Yeah.
How do you see this bringing awareness to the artistic community of Jacksonville?
Well, I would say the Jaguars are kind of the king of this space, aren't they? And they have a national and an international presence. So it's quite exciting to be able to have this partnership. I don't know how she pulled it off, but it's pretty amazing. So I'm curious to just kind of sit back and see.
I think we all are.
Yes.
I think we all are, because I think this is just the start.
Yes, very much so.
I think that there is a future here that is going to be
And I'm very
quite
curious
magnificent.
to see what that is, because we were talking about the idea of sports and the fine arts, and they're not necessarily natural friends.
No, they're totally different.
So it is very interesting to see what happens when we put these together.
We wanted to make a bold start with our Arts Plus campaign. It's like an open transmitter. Like anything can connect onto the arts. You can do arts in medicine, arts in healing, arts in athletics, arts in government. Like there is a role that arts and culture plays in our quality of life that is truly essential. And it makes up who Jacksonville is.
Yes.
And this opportunity to elevate the arts and culture community through maybe you're not your typical partner, but is also, to your point, a king in the area that they serve. It is really exciting because it shows like the trust that our partners have in us, and people like FIS and JTA and Florida Blue and the city of Jacksonville, who's increasing their investment in a way that's really honoring, and we hope that continues to increase, is showing that Jacksonville is on the map and that we are this city that is emerging into who we were meant to be all along. And I'm encouraged, and if people want to help support the Arts Plus campaign, please reach out to us, because we can always find partnership opportunities to help elevate the space that they're in and then connect that to that core value of art and culture.
Absolutely. Diana, thank you so much for coming
Thank
in.
you.
Dustin, it's a pleasure to be sitting next to you. And if you would like to know any more information about the footballs, the auction, or the cultural council, you can also go to iwannabuzz.com. Wow, that was fantastic. What a great show, and what interesting businesses. Don't forget, if you need any more information, you can go to iwannabuzz.com. Bye for now.